G'day guys, it's Scott Alexander King here from Animal Dreaming, and I thought I would just take a little bit of time to show you something that I'm very proud to say back. Some of you may know that a little while ago I published a deck of cards for kids called the Creature Teacher cards, and they had a bear on the front of the box. Anyway, I got the rights back. The publisher gave me the rights back, which was very generous of them, and I have re-released them under the Animal Dreaming banner. This is the new look box. I think it's quite beautiful. We've got a unicorn on the front, new look back, with all the cards there shown for everyone to see. The thing though is that there's been similarities but some differences made as well. It still comes with a beautiful guidebook, nice solid decent guidebook with, as you can see, has not just the affirmation on the cards but also a full-blown message from each of the animals. So that's still the same. We've kept all that, everything's the same. The main difference for this deck and the previous incarnation is that it's got whole new art. Beautiful new art that has been produced for me by a lovely lady, a good friend and an amazing artist, Jane Marin. She has done an extraordinary job capturing the essence of the animals that I had come to me for inclusion in this deck. Of course, there's the unicorn. They're all here, the same animals as the last deck, just brand new art. They're lovely. I just think they're the best things. They've been there for a little while now, but I just thought I would take this time to have a chat about them, to sort of give you a little bit of insight, I guess, about them and why I chose to make them round. There's a big thing that comes with oracle cards, so they've got to be this size, they've got to be that size, you know, and this is the back of the card, just so I can show you it's a nautilus shell. But I wanted these cards to be different, and I wanted them to have a story and a greater meaning. So instead of the regular traditional shape of an oracle card, you know, the regular card shape, I wanted them to be round because I wanted the kids to understand, and this is one of the lessons of the spider actually, that the circle represents the, you know, the beginning, middle and end of a story. I guess it's like, you know, what goes around comes around, and it also talks about, you know, what might not be great today will just most definitely change possibly for tomorrow. That whole, you know, turning of the wheel, if you like, the cycle of life. It's everything. It's all those sorts of things. Everything works in a circle, and in nature, within our lives, within our cosmos, really, the universe. I just thought it was important to acknowledge that and to show that the circle is a symbol of unity and sacredness. It's the, you know, round shape as the Earth Mother herself. It's a shape that we're very familiar with. It's not just a shape, it's a story, it's a journey. And I wanted the kids who use these cards, or the people who use these cards, to sort of get a bit of a understanding as to what makes the circle so special. The circle of life, we call it that, the circle of life. And that's what these cards are really designed to do, to welcome us back, I guess, to that circle of life. The thing with these cards is I did write them specifically for kids. That doesn't mean to say that only kids can use them. Adults can use them too, but and keeping in mind that we are all someone's kid, you know, we might be grown up, but we're still someone's child, and the moment we forget that, I think is sad. So I understand that everyone is entitled to use the cards, not just kids, but I thought it was really good to be able to produce something that spoke specifically to kids, or, you know, primarily to children. And so, you know, the cards address things like bullying, they address things like feeling alone, isolated, overlooked, different, you know, all those sorts of things. And it sort of gives advice on what to do when you're faced with those sort of challenges, you know, with little reminders along the way of how unique or talented they are. But it's also clues, you know, who you can go to chat, for example. There's a card in here that I have intended it to be sort of aimed at chatting, with the suggestion of chatting to your mum, or a mother-like figure in your life, or a guardian, or someone who would fill that role of the mother role. It could be an older sister, could be an aunt, could be a next door neighbour. But the card suggests going into chat to that sort of energy. And, you know, there's one for the dad as well, or the father figure, or the guardian, or the older brother, or whoever it is that person is to you. There's cards that remind the kids of their gifts, their talents, the importance of embracing your shadow and acknowledging your fears, all those sorts of things. So even a topic like death coming up for a child, which could be very abstract and very difficult to comprehend, the cards are designed to create a conversation, to create that space where questions can be asked and answers can be given. And I did that because I wanted kids of all ages, not just older kids, but even little kids, to be given the opportunity to talk about what's on their heart, or what's, you know, in their heart, or what's bothering them, what's on their mind. So you'll see that each of the cards offer a, just here where my finger is, I'm just pointing with this finger here. There's an affirmation at the bottom. Under the animal, there's a keyword, like a little affirmation. This one is the tawny frogmouth, and the tawny frogmouth's message is, I listen. So it's like a little affirmation. And it's a little reminder. So if the kids were by themselves, they could pull these cards, even no matter how little they are, and get a feeling based on those few words. Like, this is the sheep. I do not need to follow blindly. So you're thinking about a school setting, for example, or where they're away from their guardians or their parents or their older siblings or whatever, and, you know, they've got to make decisions. And these cards are sort of there to suggest, you know, what could you have done differently, or don't forget, this is your greatness, this is your strength. You don't need to follow blindly to be popular, or, you know, to be seen to fit in. Anyway, there's a card for pretty much every opportunity, every situation, every circumstance, every experience. This is the buffalo, and the buffalo's message at the bottom here is, I ask for help. You think, well, that's pretty obvious. It's not always, not for everyone. Anyway, so the affirmations are there, but, you know, what if you know, you want to sit with your child and get to better understand what's going on in their life at that moment? The guidebook offers a greater and more deeper understanding, like a message, like a way of looking at the situation. So the idea is that, you know, an older child might pick up the guidebook, use the cards to pick up the guidebook, but a younger child who might not have the capability of reading, you know, pages and pages and understanding what they're reading, the idea is the affirmation there is to give a starting point for a conversation, a chat, or just even an inner dialogue. You know, it doesn't have to be external, it doesn't have to be heard by anyone, just even an inner dialogue. And maybe if there's an opportunity then for someone to say, what are you doing? A discussion could come from that. Does that make sense? Or, you know, I think it's a lovely thing to check in with your kids before they go to bed, or, you know, they've had a hard day, or it's, you know, last day of the week, and just check in on how their week's gone. Just pull a card, see what the animals have to say, and see. The beautiful thing is, it's not about finding answers necessarily. It's reminding the kids how strong they are, and how powerful they are, and how brilliant they are, and just those little reminders don't go astray, I don't think. Right, so I just thought I would have a chat to you, introduce you to my new cards, my new look cards that the Animal Dreaming Publishing team has done for me. Yes, it's a family-owned business, but I still feel humbled when someone puts so much effort into something that I hold sacred, even if that is my family. But look what a beautiful job they've done. I think they've done an amazing job. Great team that worked with my family to make these sort of things possible, and I'm very grateful. So I just thought I'd share that with you. You can find them on animaldreaming.com or any of those online platforms if you'd like to grab yourself a deck. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed my introduction to the rebranded new look version of my Creature Teacher Oracle cards for kids. Thanks so much, guys.